Twilight Masquerade is out and everybody's cracking open packs and booster boxes trying to pull the big chase cards. However, it's getting tough. It's getting harder and harder to pull these big chase cards and trying to complete master sets with each release of the Scarlet and Violet era. What is going on with pull rates? Well, at the moment, Twilight Masquerade has some of the toughest pull rates we have seen so far in the Scarlet and Violet era. But how does it compare to all the rest? Because a lot of people said that it takes so many packs to pull some of the biggest chase cards. This will have an impact on card value, and we've seen it already with sets like Temporal Forces. So today we'll be taking a look at the Twilight Masquerade pull rates and compare them to all the other Scarlet and Violet era sets and see how it measures up. Right, let's jump into it. Alright, so Twilight Masquerade pull rates. I'm really intrigued to see how this goes. Alright, Twilight Masquerade pull rates. I really see how this goes because I like to know what pull rates are like. We haven't opened up set a huge amount, we've opened up a little bit, but it does seem quite tough. Let's take a look and see what's going on with the pull rates. So let's get into it. So hyper rares, gold cards coming in. I love the gold cards from Scarlet and Violet, do really well. So we're looking at any of them 1 in 146 packs. So what's that? You're looking around 4 booster boxes to get a gold card on average. For a specific one, 879. Special illustration rares, if you want that Greninja or the Carmine, you're looking at 1 in 86. Was that 2.5 boxes for any SIR? But for a specific one, nearly 1 in 1,000 packs. 1 in 941. That's bonkers. Then we're looking at normal illustration rares, 1 in 13. So you're probably going to get them at 2, maybe 3 in a box if you're lucky. Specific one is 272. That's one of the reasons why we're starting to see like Groudon and Tyranitar and other cards start to climb up Magikarp as well. Then we've got ultra rares, so basically full art trainers or full art Pokemon, 1 in 15, so what's that, 2 per box. And then a specific one, 1 in 318, that's interesting. Then A-Spec cards, 1 in 20. So far, we've had 2 in every box. I don't know if that's always the case, but 1 in 20, you have a chance potentially to get 2 in a box, but more than likely just 1. And then a specific one, 1 in 119. I don't believe there's that many A-Spec cards, but I do like them. They're really nice. So secret rare or A-Spec hit rate. So the chance of you getting something out of these is 20%. So we're not talking EXs or anything like that. We're just talking the better stuff. Like 20%. So for a booster box, probably looking around about 7 or so, roughly, of these, and then maybe the rest EXs. I mean, the average box seems to be releasing around about 13 hits on average. Some have 14, 15, some have 11, 12, 11. It really does depend, but that's actually quite interesting. Right, let's actually compare this to some of the other sets. So Temporal Forces, we're looking at Temporal Forces. Now, this one was a very tough set. When Temporal Forces come out, everybody was like, hey, look, Temporal Forces is super tough. Pull rates are tough, less product around, and less product of Twilight Masquerade as well. And we've already started to see the impact of tougher pull rates. A lot of the cards actually in Temporal Forces have been holding value, and a lot of them have gone up since release as well. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Pull rates do make a huge impact. And you look back from the older Sword and Shield, the pull rates were terrible. Evolving Skies, Chin Rain, Fusion Strike, really, really bad pull rates. Look how they've gone. So we're looking at Hyper Rare Gold, 1 in 139. So compared to Twilight Masquerade, Masquerade is just a little bit tougher. Then we look at the special illustration, so 1 in 86, and then the specific one is 1 in 855. So we look back, 1 in 86, so pretty much the same there, but for a specific one is tougher in Twilight Masquerade. Then we look at illustration rares, 1 in 13 for a normal illustration, 1 in 13. We've seen the consistency a lot of the Scarlet and Violet era, but for a specific one in Twilight, it's 272. Specific in Temporal Forces is 285, so it's a little bit tougher in Temporal Forces to get some of those illustration rares. Then we're looking at full arts, 1 in 15 for a full art, and we're looking at 1 in 15. Very consistent. Pretty much we're going to see this across the board, which I like. But a specific one, 270. 318 in Twilight Masquerade, so a lot tougher to get a specific one. And then A-Spec, 1 in 20, and then 1 in 119. Then we've got 1 in 20, 1 in 140. So it's a little bit tougher, but again, very consistent. 20% chance pull rate on Temporal Forces. If you notice, the baseline for pretty much any of them are very, very similar. But those specific ones you want make it super tough. I'm going to look at the holiday sets because they've got different types of pull rates, and it's not a main set. We're only looking at main set. Paradox Rift, Hyper Rare, 1 in 82 for any, and then 1 in 576. We look back at Twilight, nowhere near the same. Twilight is so much harder to get for those gold cards. And then special illustration rares, Paradox Rift, 1 in 47, but then 1 in 712. Twilight Masquerade, 1 in 86, so a little bit tougher there, but 1 in 941. This is just, it's getting crazy, right? Illustration rares, Groudon's on the uptick right now. We're looking at illustration rares. Any 1 in 13, specific 1 in 442. So a lot tougher in Paradox Rift to get those specific illustration rares. So that's one thing to take into consideration when looking at Paradox. Then we look at the full arts, 1 in 15, and then 1 in 421. So again, they keep that consistency, 1 in 15, but 1 in 318. So it is tougher in Paradox. And then the double rares, which is basically the EXs as it were, 1 in 6, 128. There's no A spec, so we don't really know what the pull rates are regarding that in Twilight. Let's keep that in mind. But 17% hit rate. 17%. They're a little bit tougher in Paradox Rift, but with Twilight Masquerade, to get the specific cards you want is so much tougher, and to get the special illustration rares is a lot more difficult. That's the pinch that people are feeling when they open up Twilight. Same with Temporal Forces compared to the previous sets. Obsidian Flames, arguably one of the easiest in the Scarlet and Violet era. It's pretty easy, right? So at this one, we're looking at down here, Hyper Rare Gold, 1 in 52. And then 1 in 146, so very, very difficult. The Obsidian Flames one doesn't tell us what the specific gold chance is, but we can have a guess, right? So we're looking at Special Illustration Rare 1 in 32, 1 in 86, big jump, and then we're looking at Illustration Rare 1 in 13, here's that consistency again, 1 in 13, and then we're looking at Ultra Rare 1 in 15, again, consistency, 1 in 15, and then Double Rare, which we don't know for Twilight. But if you look at the big boy Charizard, 1 in 216, this is for a specific special illustration rare. Even with the Gita, 1 in 216, 1 in 188, a lot easier than 941. So yeah, a lot easier Obsidian Flames. We've seen the impact of easier pull rates. Cards are less value. People have less interest in the set. It does make a huge difference. And then finally, we're going to be looking at Paldea Evolved. We're not going to look at Scarlet and Violet base. Not really that interesting. So we look at Paldea Evolved. Again, this was another set which had harder cards to pull compared to Scarlet and Violet base and even Obsidian Flames. So here we're looking at Hyper Rare Gold, 1 in 57 compared to the 1 in 148. Huge difference. And then we've got Special Illustration Rare 1 in 32 on 86. Then we're looking at Illustration 1 in 13, that consistency back again. Same with the Ultra Rare, 1 in 13, 1 in 15. Very, very consistent. 18% pull rate. A little bit less than Twilight Masquerade. As I said, you get the hits in Twilight Masquerade, but to get the cards you want, so difficult. And then we look at this, right? So we have the Iono, which the chance of getting the specific Iono is 1 in 480. We've already seen Twilight Masquerade, 941. Gold, 1 in 879. 1 in 508. Right, this is crazy. We got illustration rares, Magikarp, big chase card, 480. Torrenta, 480. Right, 272. So it is tough from Paldea Evolved to get some of those illustration rares, and that's why we've seen the Magikarp go up. That's why we've seen the Torrenta go up. So big chase cards in the sets, much tougher to pull, but it's really interesting comparing them. So that is the pull rates of Twilight Masquerade comparing to all the other Scarlet and Violet era sets. It is tough. It is very, very tough. It will have an impact on the value of the cards, and it will have an impact of the desirability of the set moving forward. You looking back, if we'd had a look at just the Sword and Shield era, the sets that have not only the toughest pulls, but big chase cards tend to do the best. Fusion Strike, Chill and Rain, Evolving Skies, all got really tough pull rates, doing very well. Veilstar's got tough pull rates, but it's on the uptick. My boy T-Tar's doing very well. You're looking at sets that have easier pull rates, people are not that interested, or not so much of a big chase card. And then on top of that, you're looking at, availability of the set as well. Is there a lot of it around? Is it heavily printed? Twilight Masquerade, there's less of it printed. Temporal Forces, less as well. There's a lot out there, but just less than Scarlet and Violet base, Paldea Evolved, and the beginning sets, because they just printed an absolute ton of those. So it's interesting to see moving forward when we go into future sets. I mean, we've got a holiday set coming out in August. I don't know what the next main set will be, but we'll have to wait and see. If this continues, we could be seeing some of these sets where we may look at Twilight Masquerade and go, oh, that looks kind of weak, I'm not really interested, it seems like a poor set. Hey look, it might not have your best chase cards in it, and it might not have the biggest, fanciest, expensive cards, but the sealed product's probably going to do very well. Just like Temporal Forces. We'll have to wait and see. If you made this far to the video, guys, and you've enjoyed it, make sure to smash the like button, make sure to subscribe for more Pokemon content, and let me know your thoughts down in the comments about the pull rates of Twilight Masquerade, or any of the sets in general. Do you feel like they're a bit harsh? Do you think they're a good thing to have tough pull rates? I think tough pull rates is very good. I think having a good volume of hits in a box is great. I want to see 13, 14, 15 plus hits, but I want the chase cards to be a real chase. Just kind of like we have in Crown Zenith, right? You get a ton of hits, which is amazing, but you want to get the big juicy cards, and you want them to be tough, because that's what makes it fun. If you want to know about the top 10 most expensive cards from Twilight Masquerade, make sure to click the video on screen. And if you watch more Pokemon content, guys, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Alright guys, that's it from me in today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, you guys are legends, and I'll see you in the next one.